Welcome to the Meat Mistress podcast. I'm your host, Emma Butler, and this is my audio diary of life on the farm as a full-time farmer, wife, and mother, not always in that order. And oh yeah, I also own and operate a butcher shop. Thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time as I chat all things farming, small business, and more. Hello. It has been a little gap since my last podcast that I did. It's not that I don't have topics to discuss with you or like hot tips I want to bring to the table. It's none of that. I just kind of had to pivot away from the Meat Mistress podcast just a little bit so that I could focus on some of the other things that were happening personally in my life and then also professionally within the business. So just to give you a little bit of recap, we came through Thanksgiving this year. It was one of the best Thanksgivings we've had for our business. Now, mind you, at the level that we're operating at now with our new farm store and custom butcher shop, this was only our first Thanksgiving in our new store. So we've been operating as a butcher shop now for 1 calendar year. So a lot of the things that we've been doing and experiencing have been firsts for us, because we opened at the end of 2022 in December. So we've only been open for a year in our new facility. Now, if you've been here for a while, you know that we used to have a small farm store right outside of our house, and that's where we serve customers. And then we built a bigger store, became a butcher shop. We now have in-house butchers that cut all of our products for us, and we are completely farm to table. So we came through Thanksgiving. It was extremely busy for us, which was awesome. We learned a lot. We're able to really narrow down our policies and procedures and really figure out internally how to manage volume, because I think one of the common themes that has happened in our business, and I'm sure other business owners have experienced this as well, is that the bigger the business, the bigger the growth, the bigger hurdles you have to overcome in terms of customer support and order management and order fulfillment. Those all become a factor the bigger your business gets. Now, you don't even have to be operating at the level that we are at. That is totally fine. As your business grows, like, you will just find that you're always having to kind of go back to the drawing board of how are we going to manage this? How are we going to provide the level of customer service that we need to? How are we going to make sure that everything gets done? And hey, I get it. If you're not confident in what you're doing, I'm not either. I am not either. I am so fortunate that our business has evolved to a place where I now can have a team of people to help me do this. But I was just like you at one point. It was just me and my husband, and we were just doing it, and we were just figuring it out, and there was no method to the madness. And I mean, some days there's still no method to the madness, but I have a team to support me to help evolve the business and move the business forward. And fortunately, my team is very forward thinking. They're very supportive, and thus far we've been able to kind of just figure things out a lot quicker than we did when it was just me. Now, if you're not there yet, where you can't hire employees, or it's not something you're ready for yet, that is totally okay, because you can do this without a team. You can build your business, you can grow your business, you can do all the things by yourself. Let me be your hype girl. You can do them by yourself. You don't need a team to help you. But I want to let you know that the more you do it and the more you do things, and the more comfortable that you become, you will get better. You will get better. You will figure things out. And you will evolve yourself and your business and really drive it in the direction that you need it to go. The only way that you can do it is to do it. There's no book that you can read or podcast you can listen to or YouTube video you can watch. You have to just be in the trenches and just really do it and problem solve and figure it out. And I would say one of my top tips, if there is one, in terms of, managing an influx of growth or an influx of customers or an influx in orders, is to take notes, to, when it calms down and that time passes, really take notes and really kind of look back at what did not work that you want to improve on. And just keep a note on your phone of things you want to do better and things you want to improve on. So we learned a lot in the business coming through Thanksgiving. Of course, if you're new here, we own a butcher shop. We have a farm store. We raise beef, lamb, and chicken on our farm. And then I also source local turkeys, etc. So this Thanksgiving, we really expanded our offerings a lot. So again, that created an influx across the board. It's currently December and we are working our way through Christmas. It is a week before Christmas right now. And we're very much, I want to say in a good place. I want to say in a good place right now because today we're in a good place. Tomorrow we might not be in a good place. So if I listen to this back, why did you say that out loud, Emma? But this year we have really taken a lot of initiative to try and manage our customers. So one thing that I learned in business very, very quickly, even when we were selling meat out of our garage, is that you have to manage your customers. Like, people like to be managed. They like to be told, okay, we are open from, Thursday to Saturday. Here's our hours. Here's when we can serve you. Customers like hearing that. They like to know. They don't want to just show up at your house if you have a home-based business on a Monday afternoon if they're not supposed to. So managing customers it sometimes can be uncomfortable for people because I know as business owners, a lot of us are very humble. And as humans, we kind of naturally don't want to tell each other what to do. You got to tell your customers what to do, my friends. You have to set those boundaries. I've talked about that on this podcast before, how influential setting boundaries have been in my personal life and my business. You got to set those boundaries. You have to decide, when am I serving people? When am I answering calls? When am I answering emails? When am I responding to DMs? All that kind of stuff. You definitely have to set those boundaries of when you want to work, period. And if you're maybe new in business or you're drowning in business, either way, trust me, setting those boundaries is going to help you across the board. It's going to help you just really navigate this whole beast. And on top of that, I will say, with the setting boundaries, managing your customers, it comes back to you tell them what you need from them. So this year, for example, leading into Christmas, we set more of a hard deadline. So last year we operated Christmas in our new farm store, and it wasn't a cluster, but it was a lot. I mean, we were in a new building, we were in a new place, we were all new staff working together. We were just treading water last year, and it was fine. We didn't do a bad job. We did a fine job, which is great. But on that note, there's nowhere to go but up from that, and we can always improve. So we were working this year on really improving those logistics, really improving our customer service, really making leaps and bounds to communicate with our customers what we needed from them. So one of the things we did this year was we set an order deadline. That might seem obvious to you. It was not obvious to me that we needed that. It was not obvious to me, that we had to set a date on the calendar of, this is the last date that we can accept orders for Christmas, for example. Again, last year, we were just treading. We were just figuring it out. We didn't even know how any of this was going to go. We had just freshly opened. So we really just had to make it work. But this year, and coming through multiple holidays, so this past year, we were in our farm store for, as I mentioned, Thanksgiving, Easter, Valentine's Day, all these kind of different holidays, we were able to get better and better at managing. And so one of the things we did here at Christmas time was we set a boundary of, we are going to accept Christmas orders until X date. Now, if you've met me before and my customers know me, I'm a little bit of a pushover and I just want to help. And we all genuinely, our hearts are in this. Myself and my entire staff, our hearts are in this. So if you text me on Christmas Eve, or, 2 days before Christmas Eve, rather, and you say, I need a private rib, Emma, can you make it happen? I will try my darndest to make that happen for you. If I can't, know that I tried. So, being that flexible is a good thing and a bad thing. It's probably a character flaw because the more our business grows, the less I'll be able to have flexibility like that. But for right now, we're still in a place where if you got a hold of us and you need something, we'll try and make it happen for you. However, jumping back to our deadline is something that was really important to us because we got a large influx of orders. We encaptured pretty much all of our regular customers, if you want to say it that way, our people that always order from us, the people that always jump on those kind of promos from us and stuff. We got those right away. So we knew that our core group of customers were taken care of. And then new customers learned from us very quickly, oh, okay, this is how they operate and this is how they're doing business. So for us, that was really, really well done on our part, and we've really stuck to that. So now our order deadline has helped us improve. Now we still have to execute those orders. So, I mean, that might be a little bit crazy for us because a lot of those orders are for the same time period. Most people want to pick up this year, later in the week, which is all cool. We can do that, no problem. It gives us more opportunity to cut, etc. But we are going to be very, very busy near the end of the week. So I'm just kind of working with my staff and preparing them for, the first part of the week might be slow, but the end of the week, you're going to be pulling your hair out. And now is not the time to fall apart. Now is the time we have to stick together a little bit more. We have to have each other's backs, understanding, grace, respect for one another, really stick together as a team, because getting through this period is going to be stressful. There's no two ways about it. And we're going to be tired, but it's one of those things where I just kind of reiterate to my team, like, we are in the home stretch. We are going to make it. And then we get a break, and then we get to go off and have Christmas and enjoy it with our families. I'm sorry, I went ahead and rambled a little bit there, but I feel like I just had these random tidbits of knowledge and things that I just kind of wanted to talk to you about. This is going to be a really short and sweet podcast because I do intend for this podcast to be my, holiday wrap up. I don't know what to call it. I wanted to just jump on here and say thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting our business this year in any way that you've supported it, whether you shopped from us, followed us on Facebook or Instagram, liked our posts, shared our posts, listened to this podcast, signed up for our email newsletter. All of your support means so, so much. And it really is an instrumental part to our business. It really does help. Every single little thing, even if you can't buy from us, which you can because you can order online at jniemeats.com, and I will ship province-wide any of our meat or frozen products to you. And our Camden Tallow skincare line, which is our beef tallow infused skincare, I can ship Canada-wide or to the United States. So wherever you're listening from, I can ship you our beef tallow skincare. But what I want to say is, if you aren't able to support us by buying anything, you can still support us by engaging on social media, telling us, or telling your friends rather, about us, talking about us, following along, all the things, like every single thing, every little interaction, every time you think about us, whether you see it or not, it does impact our business in some way. And we could not do any of this without you. I am eternally grateful for all of the support that we've received since we started, because 4 years ago, I was literally barefoot and pregnant selling meat in my garage. And here we are. We have thousands of followers across our social media platforms. We have hundreds of listeners here on this podcast. We have been able to serve our community tenfold. This year, we've been able to donate almost $20,000 in monetary and food products, not only to our local food banks, but also to the Ronald McDonald House Charities in London, which helps the Sick Kids Hospital. We've been able to give back more and more and more. And I think one of the things when we first started our business that we really wanted to do was make that societal impact, like really give back to our community, support our community even more, support our local businesses to help fuel our economy. And we are only able to do those things because of you and because of your support. We can't do any of this without you. So it does truthfully mean so much to myself and my husband, Josh. I know I kind of talk in first person all the time on this podcast, but my husband, Josh, he is my absolute best friend. He is my rock. This is not possible without him because he raises all of these animals. He works 365 days in the pouring rain, in the freezing cold, in the summer heat for our family and for J&E Meats. And I couldn't do any of this without him. But I did just want to jump on again, say thank you. Thank you for your support. I hope this little brief podcast, it helped you in some way. If not, it was really great just to connect with you. I always appreciate you giving me your time because your time is the most valuable thing that you have. So you just giving me your 10 or 15 minutes or 20 while you're doing your thing or driving or folding laundry, whatever it is you're doing. I value your time, and I greatly, greatly respect and love you, because I couldn't do this without you. And you've made me feel so accepted. You've made me feel so loved, and I appreciate you so much. I can't wait to see what 2024 has in store for us together. I can't wait to see where we go and how we grow. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Meat Mistress podcast. I will confidently catch you in the new year. And again, if you haven't followed us yet on our social media, please do slide into my DMs, comment on any one of our posts. I would love to hear from you if you've enjoyed this podcast, and I will talk to you very soon. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Meat Mistress podcast. I'm your host, Emma Butler. I've really enjoyed chatting with you. Thanks for listening. I can't wait to see you back here again. If you'd like to keep up with all things happening J&E Meats, which is our farm store and butcher shop, you can find us over on Instagram at J&E Meats and on Facebook as well too. I will talk to you again very soon.